Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mumbling Thoughts. And there's no intro this time. I feel like I just want to jump right into it. I feel like intros, they're like important, but it's like I want to get right into it today. So, like, I know it's been a while since I last uploaded an episode. And last I checked, I think it was like December something that like I uploaded a video. And it's been half a year almost. Well, it had, yeah, basically half a year. And like the reason I would say I stopped uploading was because I felt confined. Confined in the sense that like I thought I only had to talk about or only could talk about relationships on this podcast, especially because it was why I started this podcast. Like the main reason I started it was because I was trying to heal from my breakup, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me on this journey of me healing. And a lot of the stuff I talked about, or everything that I talked about so far, was relationships. But I just felt confined, and after I like truly healed from my breakup and my relationships just weren't on my mind anymore. And I just felt confined that I had to talk about relationships. But I was like, wait, what is a mumbling thought? You know, like the mumbling thought, the definition I had in mind that I created originally was like a subtle feeling, thought, or idea that's in our head, but we just can't really put into words, And even though that mumbling thought could be anything, whether it be about life or relationships, self improvement, productivity, or just like some random food or restaurant, anything. Like it could be anything. Mumbling thought can be about anything. And I don't know why, I just confined myself. But now my head's gotten a little clearer, and I feel like mumbling thoughts can just be about anything, like I just said. And mainly, I feel like what I want to focus on is just like things that happen that like we all go through in life that like make us into better people, or just like on this journey we call life, because like there's so much shit that we go through in life that like we have no idea how to like handle it or approach it or what to do. Like if someone like a loved one died, or like if someone broke up with us, if we're like feeling down in a rut, like what to do like when we're 20, turning 20. Like, bro, I just turned 20 this past week on the 24th. I know you guys don't give a fuck, but yeah. And it's just like I always thought I had to be someone. I always thought that I had to be someone in order to like talk on this podcast, on Mumbling Thoughts, or just to do anything. Like the question that would always come up is, why me? Whenever you try to do something, you're always thinking like, why me? Like there's all these other people doing out here doing this. Why would people want to listen to me? And I just like came up with the realization that I don't have to be anybody, you know? Like, I don't have to be someone who's gone through all this crazy shit in life, or have a story, or go through some crazy shit. I don't have to be anybody. I can just be me going through my life. But what I really want to do is, like, bring you guys along with me. And that's why I started this podcast. Um, with my healing journey at first, like when I was healing through my breakup, I wanted to bring you guys along with me and share what I found and what I've been learning, how I've been healing from my relationship. And now it's just like that's not on my mind anymore. Now we're just going through life, turning 20, 21 next year. Like there's just like shit that's like about to go down, and like I want to take you guys with me. And I don't know, turning 20, everyone's like, oh, you're so old, and stuff like that. But like I've never been really sensitive to age. I feel like I've been more sensitive to like a transition through life, like a phase, like whether it's like graduation from high school into college, and then I'll probably be like, holy shit, like what's happening when I graduate from college. But I feel like it's not really a big deal turning 20 to me, at least. Like age has never really gotten to me. But now that I am 20, like I'm always thinking about like I want to get my life together, and I've been thinking about like I've always been thinking this past few like months and maybe year, this past year, like what is my purpose? Like what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And we always have this question now, especially because we have social media and everybody posts their lifestyle, and it's good. It's like it's cool to see that you can do all these things, and that's how like a lot of younger generations, like even like a few years younger than me, they're like discovering powerlifting and stuff, and I wish like I had that, but like it's like whatever. um they're discovering like all these new hobbies that they can do, and it's just like amazing. But then on the other hand, you also have like you're like, oh, like I need to get my shit together because all these other people apparently seem to have their shit together as well, or they found their purpose, or they found their hobby, or what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And I've been just trying to find what mine was, but it's really hard. It's really hard to find what your purpose, your true purpose in life is, and I don't know why this has been there the whole time. Like, oh my god, that's whatever. Fuck it. But like yeah, I've been just thinking about my purpose, what I want to do for the rest of my life, and it's been hard thinking about it because it's like you think you want to do this, and then you're like, I don't know, and then there's like things to consider like money, family, and like those two I feel like are the main things. Like right now I'm like a finance major, and like I can go corporate, but it's like everyone else, do I want to do the corporate life, do a 9 to 5, or do investment banking, work like 100-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks? And like obviously I'm not gonna do that for my whole lifetime. Like we never know what's gonna happen later down the line, but like currently I don't know, like do I want to just pursue this, or do I want to like put my head down, focus on college and get that job, make like 100K or something salary right out of college, or something else, but I was talking to my professor because I really feel like he's just like a mentor to me, and because he has like so much experience, and he's just such a great guy. And I was just talking to him about how like I've been thinking like, oh, I want to find like what I'm meant to do, what my purpose is, what I want to do. And what he said was just like what you hear from everybody else. They say like all their friends, some are, but a lot of them, they don't necessarily do what they studied in college. Like, and he says like our generation nowadays, we're like so focused on like what we want to do like 10, 20, 30 years down the line, like what we want to do for the rest of our lives, or what our purpose is. But what he says is like it's useless because we don't know, like yeah, you can be extremely passionate about something, but who knows, you might like switch to something else, like something might happen. And that's why he was saying how we should focus like 5 years or 3 years down the line. But now for me, I'm like thinking about just focusing what I want to do 1 year down the line, or what I want to achieve within the year. And I feel like that's just so important because it's like you're doing it for the now so that you don't have regrets later. And you can't really plan ahead, I feel like planning is kind of useless because there's so many things that you stumble upon in life that you don't plan for. And like, yes, planning is good when like you have a goal and objective that you want to hit, but like in the sense when you're trying to find your purpose in life or what you want to do, I feel like planning is just so useless because there's so much things you can do in life that you can pursue, that planning just like, it might even like be not, I can't find the right word, but it's pointless because if you planned for like, if you make this master plan and then you stumble upon something else that you really want to do, your plan's useless. And maybe you planned this for like a few months or like a year for your life, and now it's just like you wasted your time, you know? Like, I've been reading like books like the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and it's like he says like 99% of the shit that we do is useless. Not in the sense like that it's not a learning experience, but in the goal sense, like it's useless. And then, but then the thing is like that 99% of the things that we do, fuck, like that we do, we have to go through it to find that 1%. Like some of us are lucky and we'll find that like 1% of the things that we like, that 1% thing we want to focus on. But for many of us it's like it's hard because like society, I don't want to sound like cliche or cringe, but it's true. Like our parents, society, friends, teachers, whatever, they tell us like we should like do this 9 to 5 or whatever. And yeah, like I'm not saying that's bad, but many of the times it's exhausting. And yes, not everybody gets the chance to pursue their hobbies as a passion or pursue their passions because there's like financials that they need to worry about, family that they have to worry about. But like for us, when we're teenagers, when we're young, well, we're not really teens, pre-adult, but we're in our 20s, like we have so much time. We don't have anything to worry about. So like going through this 99% of the things, it's hard, but like it's necessary that we have to go through. And we just have nothing holding us down, you know, like go do some shit, go explore, and then hopefully you'll find like what you want to do. And like after that talk, like I started doing some of my own research, and I stumbled upon this quote, and it reads, "There is no purpose in life. The only purpose you have is to experience this thing called life in the way that is most pleasant to you." And so like what I really got out of this was like, okay, so there's no purpose that we're like on this world, but we can give our life purpose. And in order to do that, we give things meaning. So that's why I feel like experiencing things, going out in the world, traveling, exploring is so important because yeah, there might not be a purpose in life, but you find things that matter to you, that are interesting to you, that you can give meaning to, and then that becomes your purpose in life. And like this can change depending on like what stage you are in life, because maybe when you're a little kid, you don't have a purpose. You're just like fucking around, playing around, like eating, crying, sleeping, whatever, you know, like there's not much you like need to do when you're a little kid. But maybe when you're in high school, your purpose is to get into a good college. Maybe when you're in college, your purpose is to get a job. But like, and well, that's in the traditional sense, but like when you're experiencing different things, you'll find different purposes. Like maybe you'll go to like a, I don't know, like a retreat, or go to what are they called again? Like a volunteer event, and you're like, "Oh, my purpose is to serve people." Now you found your purpose, and then like that's your purpose in life. And then but maybe later down the line, you find like you don't want, like you're not serving everybody in the world. Maybe it's just your community. Maybe you get a family. Your purpose becomes to serve your family, to protect your family, to provide for your family. You know, like it just depends on what you give meaning to. And I feel like purpose is just such a subjective thing. Like you can't really say, or I can't really tell you what your purpose is. Like, I can't even tell me myself, like what my purpose is, because it's just like ever changing. Like there can be one purpose that you like designate yourself to, but it doesn't have to be the only one, and you can just have multiple purposes, you know. And I feel like one thing that I've been like thinking about recently is to strive to live without regrets instead of finding a purpose. Because I feel like having to like find my purpose, I feel like it's just way too much of a hassle. It's like fuck, like I need to have a purpose, you know. I need to have like something meaningful. And for a bunch of us, it might be overwhelming because we're like, oh, we need to find a purpose, we need to have a purpose, and we feel pressured. And then now we might feel depressed or like something, you know, and we just feel behind compared to everybody else. Like, damn, look at them. They know what they want to do in their life, but look at me here. I'm just laying on my ass, like watching TV or playing video games or even just hanging out with friends, not doing anything with our lives, you know, or just like staying in school. I don't know. Whatever it is your situation is. But if you change, well, for me at least, changing my perspective or my view from finding a purpose to living it without regret, it means that I can find things that are meaningful to me and just dedicate myself to that for now. And then I can, when I die or whatever, when I look back, I'll think, oh, okay, I did this because I was interested in it, instead of like, oh, I need to have a purpose to do X, Y, and Z. I feel like changing it to living without a regret, it just like relieves so much pressure from you, and now you're just focusing on doing what you enjoy, you know, because you don't want to have any regrets. And there's no need for like a grand purpose. I feel like just do what brings you joy, and maybe when you do that, you serve like other people or just yourself, and you're just happy. You know, you don't have to have a grand purpose like curing cancer, saving like the whole world, or anything like that. Like, just live without any regrets, be happy, don't be a bad person, you know, and I feel like you'll live a good life. And like for me, like I said, like I'm changing finding a purpose to like living without any regrets, and finding meaningful things that I care about. And like I wrote a few things down, like having good relationships, being a caring person, being present, being uncomfortable, trying new things, seeking growth, not caring about what other people think. I feel, and like developing hobbies and interests I enjoy, and I feel like that's a pretty good list, you know. Like some of these things I used to really like struggle with, like being present, being uncomfortable, trying new things, not caring about. I feel like not caring about what other people think was like a big one, because I feel like I've been always conscious about like what other people think of me, and I feel like part of that is because I'm just like a vigilant person. I don't even know if that like makes sense, but I feel like I've just been like very observing of others, especially after like I started like reading like about psychology and things like that. Not what the fuck. Not necessarily like to control people or like view relationships as like a power grab or anything like that, but like it was just like interesting to understand like how some of these things work. And after that, I just started observing people, like what they do, and trying to figure out like what they do and what it means and stuff like that. But I don't know, I feel like that made me wary of what other people think thinks of me, what other people think of me, and now it's just like, yeah, like, you can say like, oh, they don't give a fuck, they don't care, but it's still something that like is in the back of your head sometimes. But it's just like, you kind of just live with it. You're like, yeah, okay, who cares like what they think, like, it's not gonna affect me anyways. And like, I feel like this is also why, I don't think this is why I stopped posting, but when I did post, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of like wanted you guys to like see me a certain way. Like, I felt like it had to be like a super button up kind of thing, super professional, but like now it's just like, I feel like I just want it to be laid back, I want to be who I am, just talk, share like my thoughts with you guys. And like, like, you guys probably don't give a fuck, and it's like, whatever, it doesn't matter if you guys don't give a fuck or not. Like, I'm just doing it for me because I'm trying to like better myself and like really understand like my own thoughts and like what I'm going through as well. And if you guys like enjoy it, if you guys find it helpful, that's like, that's good. That's good for me. I enjoy like helping people, like, and this is one way I can do that too. And ultimately, like, I don't know, it's been just so long since I posted something, so I have like some kind of note thing for me, but I wrote this down and it says, and ultimately, like, relationships, um, I don't want to read off of it, but like, I feel like I just have to. Like, relationships, I think finding meaning is kind of like relationships, where a lot of people hesitate to take a leap of faith in, because, I'll just read it out. Fuck it. It's like, whatever. And ultimately, like relationships, I think finding meaning is also a leap of faith many people hesitate to take. If you don't go out there and take risks, try new things, or seek growth, you're never going to discover what you're passionate about or what your purpose is. You've been given this life, you've been given this life despite the odds. So embrace this chance that you've been given. Don't die with regrets, wishing you had done more. I don't want to die with regrets, so that's why I'm going to take risks, try new things, so that I can live like a fulfilling life, and along that journey, I want to discover the various purposes I have in life. And like I said, you can have multiple purposes, it doesn't just have to be one, and depending on where you are in life, it'll change. And you'll never know what your purpose is, but if you don't go out there and give things a try, you'll live a life of regret. And maybe there never really is an answer, but that's what makes it so aspirational. So, I want to just leave this at that. Like, seek meaning in your life. You don't have to have a grand purpose. Just find like what is meaningful to you and just focus on that. Focus on what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what is meaningful to you, whether it's your family, making money. I don't think that's a bad thing. Drawing, helping others, serving the community. Just focus on what is meaningful to you. Find things that you can give meaning to, and you'll live a good life. You'll live a life that you won't regret because you're doing things that you enjoy and it's in the moment. I feel like you should learn to be present. And that's all for this week's Mumbling Thought. It's been a while, but we're coming back, and I don't know, I just want to make this like more relaxed, more chill, and yeah, just talk about whatever's on my mind, just like what Mumbling Thoughts is. So that's it for this week's Mumbling Thought. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.